the meeting to order. Can everyone stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did everybody get a copy of the minutes from July 20th? I'm looking for approval of the minutes.
One correction on that, Neil, excuse me. Nancy noticed that I spelled Mr. Whiting's name wrong. It's W-H-I-T-I-N-G and not W-H-I-T-E-N-I-N-G.
Okay.
So I'll correct that.
So moved as corrected.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next is public comment. Do we have anybody for public comment?
No. No one else in line?
Public comment, okay.
Nobody's on there.
Karen? Oh, no, I'm sorry, never mind.
I'm way down on the list.
You're way down on the list, I'm sorry. Randy Highway, but he's
good.
gonna be
I
quick.
got a lot of stuff.
Do not.
Year or so ago, we put in a request and it seems to have happened. 4 new Moffett's signs are up and installed alongside of Route 8. I don't know if anybody's paid attention to them, but they
Yeah,
are
I've seen it.
2 coming from
You
each way.
Yeah.
So, it took a while, but glad they're there.
DOT.
Yep.
They still miss it.
They still miss it.
Huh?
I had them
I saw it.
There's 2
Did you
sets
see
of
that
them.
trailer?
That week on Friday, Nancy and I were able to,
Park
this
are
thing
still there.
was,
And now there's another one, and then there's one even farther back. It says Moffett Beach
Oh, I'll
Street.
have to
Moffett
look.
Beach with an arrow.
Yep,
Yeah,
going from both ways.
yeah,
So,
good.
They're up. 2 Thursdays from today, August 20th, Malcolm will be retiring. He's taking 1 week vacation before his retirement, so that is why it's moved up to August 20th. The new replacement mechanic just received his CDL permit today, so he passed the test last Thursday.
Something.
So we're steadily moving forward there. This kind of haphazardly wrote this down here, so cameras for this building and the primary care center. I ordered them, they came in, I sent them back. I reordered a hardwired set, being that the reception we feared that was not gonna be great around the building at the health center because of the lead walls that are inside the building, for the x-ray machines and all that were never installed, but the reception drops 45 feet for every wall it has to pass. So we went to sent them back and decided to do a wired camera system. Should have them next week. Then we'll-
Excuse me, man, that's what we have.
Yes, we have wired at the shop.
When we put them in.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. I mean, you can do that in-house, right?
Correct. Yeah, Matt was going to
Yeah,
install
Matt
that
did the
today,
last
and
one.
he's the one that first came, and he said, if we open these all up and
Yeah.
they don't work and we try them, then it's gonna be harder to get them turned back.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the wireless, but when you have those challenges.
Well, the building is, from end to end.
Yeah.
You put camera in the middle, or the receiver in the middle, it's, quick distance.
Well, you can't argue
Being in
with
the
what-
basement, there's 2 walls automatically,
But the pictures that we've gotten now for way over 10 years
yeah.
with the wire, you can't argue with those.
No.
Very clear.
If Don was here, I'd be letting him know that the dirt was installed around the family garden, community garden
Oh,
fence that he was looking
Yeah.
for last meeting.
So it's all
That's done.
done, okay, I'll let him know in the
I
morning.
don't think it's going to help because
no,
it appears to be a groundhog.
Yeah, I went down and
There's
looked at
a
it.
groundhog is not going to stop because there's dirt.
Don and I went
Right.
down there after the
That's
last
what
one.
he asked, so that's what he got installed.
Yeah, it's hard to keep rodents from burrowing
Yes,
without killing
especially
them.
when they're hungry.
Yeah, when vegetables are on the other side.
Right. Hamilton Lake Road, we are still ditching over there. Wednesday, we will be grinding the rest of the blacktop that's at the far end. then next Thursday we'll be paving the road. That is the plan. We'll see what happens after the storm. This Thursday we'll be chip sealing over what we just paved on Page Street. To finish up that FEMA stuff there. Speaking of FEMA, we sent more paperwork in, signed more paperwork, and I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel yet for the stuff we did last year. I talked to the state people, they told me that I have at least 4 to 5 more signatures to go and desks to get filed on before it gets sent to the state. And then we start from the federal government to the state people. And they say that normally goes faster, but with everything going on, you don't know how long it's gonna sit on those people's desks. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable to me that they don't come out in the field because of, supposedly because of COVID, but yet the offices are slower than they used to be because of COVID.
Well, these-
One of those
the
can't.
field people were over and beyond on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects. We're beyond the fields, now it's just the bureaucracy of
Yeah.
this person has to sign it, that person has to sign it. And some of the paperwork that I sent in has sat at one desk since May, I found out so far.
So what we should be thinking about as we get into the fall and budget time is addressing this and realizing that that money is not gonna be there. We need to
Right.
pay for it ourselves.
I'm still
carry
hoping
that.
that we get 1 or 2 of them
Mhm.
before, and that will make this whole.
Okay.
And, you know, the next 2 or 3 will make the next couple, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that is keyword there. I did go ahead and authorize for surveying and soil sampling on Fish Mountain Road for the culverts/bridge replacement. That is expected to be done this, summer, but we're getting close to the end of summer, so, but I had to get started on it so that we can get an engineer's plan and assessment for FEMA in order to move forward on getting what's going to end up as a bridge on Fish
Randy,
Mountain.
is there a deadline for getting all the Halloween storm repairs done?
Yes, it is 1 year after we,
Submission.
no, after we submitted damages, which was 6 months, so you're 18 months after the storm. But, that being said, I can ask them to add an extension to it, which will be another, I guess, up to 3 years.
Okay,
So, there's a lot, I mean, it's more paperwork, of course,
yeah, of
but,
course.
there's no deadline. I mean, it just gets pushed out now,
Yeah.
but they, at some point in time, they'll be saying, no, we have to get it done.
Okay,
But we're not at a crunch time now because the county and us know that there's no way to get all this work done.
yeah,
The engineering for that bridge is expected to take up to 8 months,
wow.
so. And then we gotta get it approved by FEMA. So, that's why I wanted to get started now on that.
Well, you talked about that culvert and bridge replacement being done this summer.
No, they're,
Okay, I misunderstood you.
the soil sampling, core drilling, and the surveying being done this summer.
Oh, okay,
And once he's done with that, then he can tell, the engineer can lay out what's going to be needed. They have to price it out for what is existing, which this is one of the times I wish FEMA would come out and actually stand there. Nobody's told me that what the hand-laid stone culvert/bridge is. Is it a culvert or is it a bridge? If
It's
I
a
have
hybrid.
if I have to replace what's there, I have to hire somebody to hand lay a stone bridge underneath the road. You know, shut down the road and build a hole, which nobody does anymore. So they said, price out what's there. I said, I can't, because it's just not something that's done anymore. And then the other half of the road is a concrete culvert. So, you know, I'm getting a price on replacing what the state would require for a culvert, and then I'm going to go, you know, they'll give a mitigation for a bridge up to 100% of the culvert price. So you take $100,000, they'll match that to make it better for us. So for another 100, I'm just giving rough numbers. I don't know until the engineer tells me how much this
Yeah.
is going to cost. The problem with the culvert thing is the wetlands would be astronomical to get the APA approval to basically remove the inlet to the lake.
Yeah, put a coffee in there,
Yeah, well,
and then.
you have to de-water the whole area,
Around.
the whole swamp would have to be de-watered.
Yeah,
And then when everything is said and done, we'd have to rebuild, restore the wetlands. So it would be, that number would be astronomical, and then they'll take that number and give me 100% more if I can do it and put a bridge in, which would be better. So that's why they want me to go through all the hoops of pricing out the culvert thing, because they know that it's just gonna be astronomically high. That'll give us a very big window.
They wanna rule it out.
Right.
Through cost. Yeah.
Right. And the bridge will be way cheaper because there's no wetlands problem.
You'll still probably have silt fencing and stuff to do, but you don't have to,
Very minor, because they just drive steel pilings in it to retain everything, and then behind that, on the roadside, they pour the concrete. So there's nothing that's going into the wetland.
Good.
And then when they're done, they dig out everything that they don't need.
Sure.
So, it's rather simple. I say that, but a lot of engineering and people go, we don't do any of it, so it's all wired out. So, air conditioning filters have been ordered for this building and the health center. The air conditioning unit is on at the health center. And here, as per, well, the health center is as per Nathan George Hospital request. So I quote unquote stirred that turd, reading the rules of no air conditioning, so on and so forth. Didn't want my neck hung out to dry if somebody did come down it and said, well, the air conditioning circulated it. So we have now authorized the people that service our air conditioners and heating system to order the filters that meet this whole pandemic's requirements.
MERV.
MERV, that's it, MERV 13 filters. When they come in, we will install them. I don't know when they're coming in, but. We have also installed what I'm calling a stop blocker at the judge's bench. The plexiglass,
Works perfect. I saw it today, it's great.
the plexiglass barrier for the judge to be protected during court, which I assume is starting this week.
The salad bar sneeze guard.
Yeah.
Same thing as I have the nail
Unless they go by that
salons.
little nail salon
Yeah.
there.
And I had them open the little thing to put the paperwork in. Yeah, we have court tomorrow night starting at 6. So thank you, Randy.
They'll get those
yeah, it looks
criminals.
very nice.
Yeah, just a small enough, hold a slip of paper to the judge or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, works fine.
Or they can hand it around the side.
And the microphone can slide through there too.
Right.
So it's good.
The new CDL requirements are getting stricter and stricter. We have to do annual searches on all of our employees that have CDL licenses. The drug and alcohol proceeds is doing it for us, but we have to pay for it. And basically, they've implemented a clearinghouse website / program that keeps everybody's name filed as they take a drug test
Like a database?
and a database. If they fail, it goes into this database. Well, once a year, we have to search this database and make sure that any of our employees didn't go get a job somewhere else and take a test and fail and not tell us.
Oh, jeez, it's crazy.
We still have random testing throughout the county
Correct.
anyway, right? Okay.
Correct. Here's the catch.
Belt and suspenders.
The best catch of all is the employees get a letter in the mail and once a year asking them to authorize us to authorize BOCES to do this search. If they don't say yes, then BOCES tells us to take them off the driver's list.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Because this
not
is
much of a choice.
Right, it's a federal mandate.
Right, there's really no choice.
So once again, we're adding more things that the employees have to do to maintain the CDL license. It seems simple to authorize. It took Donnie almost a half an hour just to, he has to go on, get on a webpage, open up the whole thing with passwords and all that, just for himself, and then go through the whole, probably 30 questions of what you've been doing, what this, that, and at the end of it says authorized. So it's, once again, just letting me know, it's one more thing that this federal government is making us
do
do.
they have to all do it at the same, like January 1st day or something like that?
Now, as of January, I don't know what the 4th, I think it is, it's when it starts. So the clearinghouse, the BOCES people are sending these out and, you know, all of our employees will
Mass
roughly get it
mailings.
at the same time. They've already asked me for all their information and so on and so forth.
So would they be doing that on town time or their own?
I had Donnie come into my office and sit down and do it.
I think they should,
Yeah,
First,
shouldn't be their own personal time,
Right.
it's a job requirement.
It's a job requirement, so
Because
the
of the
least we
state.
can do is have them do it on our time. right?
Absolutely.
But this new reg is federal?
Yes. So, it's, because CDL licenses are federal,
Sure.
it's, you know, going that way.
This is that drug and alcohol clearinghouse you were talking about last fall?
Yep.
Correct, it's here, it's January 4th. So,
Okay.
last spring I was talking about it, when it came out.
Yeah.
It gave us a year to, get our ducks in a row and so on and so forth.
But the expansion is this new 30-question questionnaire.
Yeah, well, there's not, but in June they changed the rules.
Okay.
And this is where, and the only thing they changed was the employee, what they're calling it, the driver, has to authorize it. If they don't authorize, it gives them the right to deny it, the search.
But then you have to take.
But then they tell me I have to take them off the list,
Yeah,
because
it's-
basically,
Not much of a choice.
yeah,
They can't operate.
they can't operate any case-sensitive equipment. So,
I thought
it's
you were,
basically failing a drug test, is
Yeah.
what they're saying.
I thought you were gonna say, you know, if they don't authorize it, oh, well.
Yeah, no, they don't authorize it, they're saying, take them off the list, can't drive.
Sure, and the next sound you'll hear will be permits, you know, with another belt and suspenders, or just making sure that you don't have anybody who's in the
Right.
dunning list.
Yep.
Okay.
But one has already said, if BOCES is testing us, they know if we fail or pass, so why are they doing more searches? If, you know, we're being randomly drug tested, why isn't that good enough?
Unless they've had some problems with part-time employees who are in more than one place, I don't see that this is
Well,
really.
I have a funny feeling it's after the smaller contractors and so on and so forth that aren't in a random drug test system.
Not like a municipality,
Right,
okay.
Yeah, I guess.
you know, that's where it's at. That's all I have.
Okay, on to old business. Nancy, you want to report on BST?
Okay, Paul Getz will be coming to town hall to
looked at a whole big list of stuff for the audit. He will be coming on August 11th. So I think it's gonna be an all-day visit, and I have the list, and I'll be getting it to Debbie for the items that she would need to pull ahead of time, and I'll go in and pull the items that I kinda know where they are. And hopefully it won't be a long drawn out thing. Plus the treasurer's office has given some things that they want him to review from 2019 that they've saw in the AUD that they feel that our books should reflect. So I passed that information on to Paul Getz, and hopefully we'll get all that, everybody on the same page. That's it.
Super, okay. Next is emergency operations plan, tornado shelter, Chris.
Yeah, we wish. Especially with the warning last night.
Yeah,
Well, I guess
yeah.
that was a watch, not a warning.
It was
Yeah, it was a watch.
I think I got confused.
Yeah, but it's funny, I mean, I said a couple meetings ago, like, tornado.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
And
right.
then I'm like, holy shit, look at that, might be.
Looks like it's gonna happen a little bit more frequently than in the past.
Maybe.
But, Don Purdy did get back to me,
Okay.
and he said that he had been turning this over and over and over in his head, and he just can't see any way that our ideas for the county buildings, courthouse building and the annex would work. He says, oh, you should also know, before I tell you this, there are 260 trailer sites in the town.
Wow.
So he thinks that the cafeteria area in the basement is too small, even when you include the 2 hallways.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think it is. And the same for the corridor where the sheriff's offices are in the annex. It's not big enough to hold enough people.
How many trailers,
At
Chris,
the
I'm sorry?
same time.
She said 260.
I'm sorry?
260 trailers?
260.
I didn't think those places were big enough, before I heard that there were 260 trailers. That's a big number.
It is, but I figure, not everybody's gonna be coming.
No, of
Right.
course.
It seems like only a small portion of the trailer park population is all that concerned about a tornado. But if they all showed up, we should be able to accommodate them.
Yeah, if they're looking for emergency help,
Yeah,
and-
so I think that leaves us with the church. And as you all probably knew long before I did, because I was gone, my nephew had a heart attack. And so he did not approach the Board of Deacons until just a few days ago. The board is meeting tomorrow night,
Okay.
and it's on the agenda.
this is the church in North Country, the
North
old
Country
school.
Bible Fellowship,
Right.
yeah.
And even that, in discussion that we've had, let's
That's
face it,
small.
when the old school was the school, it was the fallout shelter, it was the emergency shelter, et cetera. But it doesn't hit all the high notes because of the Disabilities Act. I mean, it's mostly stairs and whatnot to get to these places, but it was better than nothing.
Better than nothing,
Of course.
yeah.
And so many of the things that our great community organizations would offer are above ground, firehouses and things like that, but still, they're
I
also
think
better than
that we're
nothing.
gonna, the only stumbling block we'll have there, if they agree to do this, is somebody's gonna have a key to open the building.
Yeah,
And they're gonna have to go down there and do that when these people wanna use it.
right.
So does that mean when a tornado warning is issued, that a town person has to go down there and open the building and sit and wait and see if anybody comes?
Well,
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing that, but,
right, there's a lot of hiccups in this, including
Yeah.
being that it's a private, even, church but a private firm. Not everybody's willing to give the town hall an
Key.
emergency key that's available all the time. I think many on here on the board
yeah.
would be willing to be, sort of stewards of people to these places, but when you start with the building that has stairs, that also has no list of folks who are coming, yeah, you run into a lot of
Yeah, it's not ideal by a long shot.
which is why I still go back to the school, the new, can you call the school the new school still?
Yeah,
But the school is still our best bet for for these things just because of the
It
fact
might
there are
be.
no stairs.
But it's on, yeah, it's just on the slab though.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna get below ground and be able to accommodate, let's just say, 100 trailers and 2 people, I mean, there's a couple hundred people
Right.
that might come. I mean, if I have a basement, I might go to my basement. If you do, you might throw yourself in the tub and put
My
a
basement's
put a
disgusting.
mattress over you, but I think, you know, we can stretch our emergency plan only so far. The details have to be put in the plan on who, what's, and wheres for these things. So,
I think it's probably good to wait till they meet tomorrow.
Sure.
Because
Right.
they'll probably mull
Oh, yeah.
over a lot of this and have a lot of these
Send
last
more
minute
questions back to
thoughts.
us.
Yes,
Yeah.
to work out.
Oh, yeah, and last night when our phones all went off for the warning, I mean, mine did,
oh,
and John's did.
I mind you.
Mine did.
Yeah, and we didn't even get up off the couch. I mean, you know, how many people really?
Well, because like Chris said, it was a watch. If we went to a warning and.
No, I think it was a warning at that point for
Really?
it to go off. No, it was just a
I
watch?
think it was a watch. I think
The
so.
closest it came, there was a little possible warning, it was almost passed already, it was up in blue.
Blue, yeah.
But still, I mean, if the emergency things start coming over your TV, you might take it seriously, you might start to go someplace, but if you have a root cellar or something, you know, but.
Okay, so next on the agenda is the bids for the Nathan Latour floors. We've had Dave Amidon in there from Indian Lake, Ruby and Query, and the Galleria flooring. We haven't gotten an estimate from any of them yet. And once we do, we want to be sure that they all measure the same rooms, are actually giving us a bid on the exact square footage. So we'll be comparing that, and we may have to contact them again to get apples to apples here. So that's where we are with that. The intercom at the Nathan Latour has been hooked up. The guys went down and hooked it up last week. The girls said it's working very well. It's hooked up by the outside door. They ring the bell. They speak into the intercom. One of the girls comes out with a thermometer, takes their temperature, no temperature, they go in the building. So that's how everybody will be going in and out of the building from now on.
Yeah, I went today and I rung the bell, but there was no need for intercom, she was maybe saw me at the door.
Yeah.
She just ran to the door.
Good.
As you said, and I was able to pick up a couple of scripts, but they seem to be happy.
They're very happy with it. They're very comfortable with it. The intercom is battery operated, so at night when they go out to lock the door, they bring in the unit and they put it in the cradle overnight in the office. And then in the morning when they go to unlock the door, they take it out and put it back outside. So I think it's working quite well for everyone. So that was a good answer. And as Randy said, the air conditioning is now turned back on and we've ordered the filters, so there's no sense going through all that. That's Randy. H2O Pure report. He is working in the area tomorrow and Wednesday, so he will be stopping in the office so we can go through things and make a decision on testing and what's gonna happen with that. On to new business, Williamson Software for Code Enforcement Officer, Bob. Would you like to speak? Everybody has a copy of the, yeah, did I give you one? No, would you like one?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. So everybody has a copy.
Yeah, we had
Thank you.
we had a meeting with the Williamson people, kind enough to give us go over the whole program. There's a lot of information in the pamphlet here that kind of tells you a bit about it. And especially on the back of the first page, you can see the program features. Basically what they do is they'll go up to the county and they get all the properties that are in Lake Pleasant and they put them all into their system, so they're all arranged by property number. So that anybody that pulls a permit, everything can be put on the same computer program under the property number. Pictures can be recorded under that same number. This thing will take, once it's filled out as to what they're doing, it'll spit out the building permit, because there's a whole form that's right online. It's easy to fill out. It also has violations, it has a calendar, you can do quick searches as far as you don't have to jump from one program to the other. There's features in it where you can just hit a button and you can pull up something else while you're working on something. You don't lose the information. You can customize checklists for inspections per job. It gives you alerts as to when permits are no longer valid. It'll print a letter out to say that, the person needs to re-up their permits. It's just, everything's on the computer now. It's not like what I do now as far as part of our stuff's on the computer, the village is, all on paper, pictures go under the year by the actual permit number. So to try and coordinate stuff and know what belongs with what, you're always having to look up something here or there or the other place. Letters, I have to, and I'm probably 2 months behind already on letters, just because this year's been so busy. Getting them out and telling people that their permits have expired. This system takes care of all that basically, and the thing that I like about it is that you don't have to invent something new every time somebody changes this job. Everything is the same,
Sure.
there it is in front of you.
My packet's missing the price sheet.
Yeah, I have the price.
Bob, Arietta has this, am I correct?
Arietta does, they have this program, they have had it for the last 3 or 4 years. And their code enforcer out there loves it because it makes his life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Sure.
It also, doesn't it automatically send the reports to the state, or the state can go in and check,
The
and you
state
don't have to do
actually, on the
that?
state report that I have to do every year for both the village and for the town, they ask the question, do you have a computerized software?
Oh, okay.
And so if you say yes, that's as far as you have to go. They get the information you need right
They don't
from-
bother you for anything else.
Yeah.
Right, you don't have to fill out the 16 pages or, whatever the heck it is every year. So,
So so the one bullet here, the program features, is sort of one group of things that they collate for you. The available mobile app would be, I'm sure, an additional.
right, and I did get a price from them, which I can give you the prices, that's not a problem. The program and software is $4,151. That's the original price. The annual support for that is $942. Alright, there is a mobile app. The mobile app is $17.55, but if we can get the village to go into this program with us, which they have a separate price for theirs, Crystal has that information, then they would be willing to split that price with the village and us.
And Crystal sat in on the meeting with
Right.
us, so she was gonna take the information back to the village.
Right. Yep.
Well, it's something we could put in the budget for next year.
Yeah, and, as it is, and I talked to Betsy about this, I budget X amount a year, and we don't use it all, so I don't know where the money goes, but hopefully
Fund balance.
it's been getting saved, but,
Fund balance.
so anyway, this is something that, I just think is probably going down the road.
Yeah,
As the records that I look at, that I have to look at, the paper records that I have,
The pictures,
all that kind of stuff will all be available on computer from here on in. They
I'm
do-
not worried about it, because you're gonna keep this job for 20 more years.
Yeah, I'm not thinking so.
I mean, one of the things you said, which oftentimes is overlooked, is how many of these things, sort of the shuffle gets lost when Bob goes to Bill, goes to.
Exactly,
And that's what's
exactly, in
happening.
other words, and then the code year changes, so you have a different, new codes, new things, and,
Yep.
and you gotta try and do all that stuff, so, this
If
just
only we knew
makes,
someone on the village board who.
well,
Well, I know about this, Williamson, because we have Williamson
The law.
programs that, the village.
Williamson is already used in a village,
Yeah.
they do some of these other things that you see here
Right,
Yeah,
on
we do.
the paperwork that I gave you.
yeah, they do water billing, they do a lot of
and
stuff.
Crystal said they're awesome.
Yeah, the support,
Yeah.
they're tremendous, you can call them anytime, and no problem. Just don't-
There's a price associated with that.
Yeah, of course it is.
Well.
That's
it
the
comes- it comes-
900.
It
Yeah,
comes,
not
it-
expensive.
here it comes in with, this
Yeah.
is support, this includes support.
Initially, but the yearly support is expensive.
Well, it's $942,
Yeah.
yes.
But-
Is there any other company that offers this service?
There are a few, I haven't seen any that are kind of as thorough as this. And that's, you know, I mean, I can look around certainly, but this, like I said, is a pretty thorough program. They do basically soup to nuts, and everything is kept also on their, you know, they have
It's
a
backed up
mainframe.
off-site.
They have a mainframe that backs everything up.
Sure.
So if you should lose your computer for some reason,
Mhm.
they have everything backed up. All you gotta do is hit at the end of the day, back up, and you're good.
Yeah,
So, I know, you know, it sounds a little expensive, but.
The setup is included in the 4150?
Let's see what it says
I think
here.
he said program and setup.
Because that sounds like an unbelievable job to put all this paper into that
all
program.
that county and
Yeah,
town
yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, can it be transferred electronically, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think that's how they do it.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, they go to the county and they take care of all that kind of stuff.
Bob, how many hours a week do you work?
Well,
How many hours are you supposed to work?
I'm supposed to work 20 hours a week. It's a
Okay.
part-time job.
Right.
I don't think I've put 20 hours in a week since I've started. It's been 25,
This
sometimes
is for the
30.
town.
This is between the town and the village.
Okay, both of them.
Yeah,
So, we're talking about a half-time job, and this software will allow you to continue
well,
maybe just putting in 20 hours. a week.
correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Because
It
really-
reduces the amount of paperwork that I have.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tremendous amount of paperwork.
And it's unbelievable, even just in the past, since our last meeting, when you gave us your yearly
Right, report.
stats,
Right.
it's a lot more has
This
been
year-
going
This year
on.
alone, we've more than doubled the permits that we had last year at the same time. So, I mean, this is something that I have to do when I go out and take pictures of the jobs. Now I have to come back, I have to transfer them to the computer, and then I have to file them in the correct files.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do all that, so that's just time sitting at a desk doing
Sure.
this stuff.
And it's pretty comparable, the increase in permits in the village too, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, there's more
Just
this,
tracking,
there's more this year than there have been. And they're bigger permits, we're getting, houses, garages, it's not minor stuff, it's not little alterations
Right.
or
Yeah.
repairs or stuff
and
like
a porch or
that.
something. yeah.
Pretty good sized stuff.
Well, supposedly, if you listen to the realtors, this is gonna continue for a while.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, they're predicting through November.
The same spike that was had for sales and listings and so on that happened around 9/11 seems to be being spurred
I
again.
think it's more so.
So Bob,
Yeah,
how
more
much is it for a building permit for a house? How, I know you must base it by size.
It depends, the most expensive permit we have is $200, and that's for a house over 3,000 square feet,
Right.
which is a huge house.
Yeah, it's a
You
full-time.
know, if up to that number is 150, and if you're up to 1,500 is only $100. The rest of our permits, almost all of them are $25 except for decks, porches and septic systems, you know, which decks get pretty big, so do the enclosed porches, those are 35. So.
It's all very on the low scale. for-
It very, very low scale. If you go anywhere else, you can go to Saratoga, you can go to, matter of fact, if you look on the Albany website and look at actually the state building permit, you'll see their prices, and their prices are way, way, way above ours.
Yeah, they've doubled pretty much.
So,
Saratoga, anyway.
I mean, just thinking that maybe down the road, we could actually start looking at that, and possibly that could help defray some of the expenses of the program.
sure.
Like I say, this is something we definitely, I think, should be considering for this
Right.
upcoming budget. And, you know, speaking with the village board about anything we're gonna do that might, you know, help
Right, so
ourselves.
that's kind of why I invited Crystal to come to it,
Yeah,
because she's on board with Williamson, she likes the program, she likes the way they work, she likes the support they get, it gives them, and this would kind of fit right in.
Yeah, well, we
The
budgeted,
village obviously is a smaller area than we are, so their price is not quite what ours is, but again, the mobile support, which I told you would be split with the village, so that's a savings.
Are we doing the water and sewer billing with them now,
With Williamson,
their software?
I know we're doing the tax collection, I'm not sure about water and sewer though.
we've already we budgeted 3,000 as an anticipated revenue for building permits, and we're already up to, as of the end of July, I guess, $2,230. So that's pretty good,
Yeah.
74%, so you might be paying for it with more.
Yeah, like I said,
I
it's been
think
very,
it's a
very
good
busy
idea.
year this year, very busy.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any
And I
questions?
I have more inquiries about, houses and stuff like that. People have been calling, so,
Good.
yeah.
Randy has a
So,
question.
go ahead.
Obviously, I just got this, but I would like to, review some of the stuff they have for highway superintendents. Because CHIPS now, which we know is gonna go down next year, there's no doubt in my mind, but they are getting more and more strict on what we do to the roads prior to doing any maintenance on it. So if they allow us to monitor, GPS the roads and be able to,
Right.
okay, we put culverts in here, we did this, and put a database into that, then I would also be interested in
Right, and there is,
something of this, but if
as
they.
far as the driveway permit that you have to do, that can be done on the system also,
Right.
which doesn't have to be done
Which would be
separately.
attached to the properties.
It's boom, it's right in the property. Everything stays with the property number, and that in itself is a great thing.
And this is more per se to the road conditions and the signs and so much, culverts, that they're getting more and more requirements, because they don't want us spending their money on roads that they haven't, this is coming down the line that they want everything digital.
So we could take some out of your budget to help.
Correct, that's where I was going with this, if it's feasible.
Yeah, well,
If it's going to help, let's put it that
I
way.
can certainly call them and ask, that type of a question, but, from what they were saying, there's all this, mapping and GIS stuff and,
Right.
Google Earth, and you can do all of that stuff in this thing, so.
Okay, well, thanks, Bob, see, it paid for you to come, because you can
Thank you,
answer
Bob.
some
I just
questions.
need to clarify one thing. When you said the village might possibly be interested in going half, that would just be on the mobile app
Yes.
or all of it?
No, the
Just the
village has their own price,
Right,
all right, for the same basic software, but it would be 2 systems on basically my computer.
okay,
Because it would be them and us. So then the mobile app, which is one price, would then be split with the village.
okay. Thank you.
If anybody has any questions, please give me a call or email me or something, and I'll try to find out the answers if I don't have them.
Thank you, Bob.
Great, thanks, Bob.
Good.
So if you want to leave, you can now, we'll let you. Okay, next up is library report,
I know, we have to leave.
Karen can't
Karen
leave,
McCombs.
but
I'll give this to you first, because you're
in case he decides to leave.
here. You know. And then, if you would take a copy, you could just pass it
I certainly will.
around. I don't need a copy. So I was here to let you know that finally, after
Thank you.
much time
You've done very
and
well in-
effort, thanks to our director Sherry Matthews, and the final letter of support from Kristen Gillibrand, the Lake Pleasant Library has been designated as a federal depository library. We will be one of 67 in the state. We'll be the only ones in the Adirondack.
Good job.
It really is a big feather in our cap
Yes, it
to
is.
have something
Yes.
of this nature in this particular area. I know the library board is very proud of it. I think our community should be very proud of it as well. That is what this area here is designated for. That's why these shelves have remained vacant, because they required a certain amount of space be designated for these periodicals, the publications. What the next step will be for, we do have to take a certain core number of publications to start with. After that, what we request from them, they suggest we should look at what serves our community. What kind of a community you have here of things that they would be interested in. Would it be ecology publications? Would it be Senate hearings on the environment, for example? Things like that wouldn't pertain, such as the underground, when they're looking for the gas underground, I can't think of the terminology right now.
Radon?
Pardon?
Radon?
When they do the mining for running the pipes underground so that it doesn't
Fracking.
disturb the fracking. So that might not, so those kind of congressional hearings might not be as appropriate here as it would be for somebody in the western part of the state or the Binghamton area where that's a big issue. So we can tailor to our needs the type of federal publications we want. And they have them for adults as well as for children. I saw one example for a child, which they have, like, why do we have to cut down a tree? You know, why are we killing a tree? What is so good about killing a tree? And it gives the story of that type of a thing. So they do have children's publications as well. I'm excited about it. I think we're all excited about it. You might want to even read the Warren Commission report, you know? So, I think, the community should be made aware of this in some sort of publicity type of notification. So this was just a little write-up about it that Sherry had given me that I'm passing along to you. I don't know when we'll start getting the publications, but hopefully soon. Got to get the thermostat moved from there to here. That's in the works, but yeah, so we're really excited about it. Does anybody have any questions about how this is gonna work?
Thank you for all your hard work, you and the library
I
board.
really think you have to give a lot of credit to Sherry. She
Good.
spent a
Sherry.
lot of time with the representative from the publishing office of the federal government who oversees all this, with the state library at Albany, who is our mentor, so to speak. And then with trying to get that letter of support from Senator Gillibrand, took a long time, and many phone calls and many interventions by Shorty Hoffman, thank him as well, and Sherry, that once we got her support, that was the final step in the whole process, is that she had to endorse us to do that. So we thank her for that as well, you know. But it's very nice for us to have this.
Good job,
Right.
excellent.
Hopefully this will get, you know, the write-up, the minutes, whatever will get in the paper, but
Yeah,
we'll see if we
and you
can.
might want to touch
Just
base
put
with
this
Sherry.
in the paper.
Right. Well, she
Yes.
may have submitted this, you know, because Sherry gave
This-
this to me.
Right, it's a press release.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I'm hoping that she had passed that along as well. So-
Good.
So I just wanted to talk
Well,
to
that's great news.
Good news, very good news.
Karen, 3 o'clock tomorrow?
Yes,
Okay.
I didn't get much feedback, so 3 o'clock.
I can recall at some point asking rhetorical questions about, you know, well, why do we still need, why are libraries still relevant and so on and so on. And you
Yeah.
listing a whole bunch of things, including the possibility of this happening. And I think it just adds another layer of the answer to
Yeah,
that.
and the scope of libraries is changing.
Sure it is.
Not everybody reads an ebook, people still read hardcover books, people still read books. But I think when you're looking as an informational resource center, not only for job opportunities, but for strictly educational purposes, you have the library.
Yeah.
The library is.
You have this room
So-
that becomes an
Yeah.
incredible resource for any kind of adult ed,
Oh,
any kind of
absolutely.
online or not. There's the hotspot that is the Wi-Fi, I mean, I never come and I don't see at least one person in the little gazebo back there.
Yeah, yeah.
There's 100 reasons why, and this adds another relevant reason.
And it is, and virtual learning, as we can tell from this whole COVID pandemic, has become a reality.
Yeah,
And we sometimes forget that not everyone in this community has access to
good internet service or a computer. It's, you know, we all may have.
Underline good.
And this particular thing is bigger than the library or the town board press. We do need to fight for more bandwidth for our visitor, you know,
Absolutely.
the times when we're loaded with, because everybody's stuff slows down, everybody's things drag, if they even go through. So, yeah, we have bigger issues to fight here in the park, but on a regular basis, when our bandwidth is sufficient, I mean, this place has got as much as anybody.
Just as an off the cuff, totally unrelated but somewhat related, what is the scope of the fiber optic network in this community?
Scope?
Yeah, how far, I mean,
How
does
far
it
is it?
reach out to many residents here? Does it go to
It
the
goes past.
secondary roads, or is it only on the major roads?
That I'm not sure,
It's
you might,
on, I have a map of it,
right.
Is it extensive?
yes.
Because
Yeah,
according
yeah.
to the data, it really would solve a lot of problems with the people who work from home, which more and more of them are.
There you go.
Right.
And I just
You
didn't
gotta
know
pony up the bread to do 5G.
how big
Bingo.
fiber optic was.
Yeah, the more you, I mean, it's, fiber is out there, it's on the town roads and so on and so forth.
Yeah, the question about the secondary roads, I'm not exactly sure. All
Well,
the
you
small-
Randy, you have it.
small
Yeah,
town
I
roads.
have it,
Okay.
Tamarack Road,
But
I
you,
mean,
but it's
one of
close.
the last, and I don't know if you have it up there yet, you do.
Oh, yeah.
One of the last was going up that way. Yeah.
Oh, we have it.
My golf partner Dick Neary, has 5G,
Yeah,
and man, he can upload, download, you know,
I have it out to my house too.
They have it in
But he-
Pasico
he
on
pays
Haskell
for
Road.
Haskell has it, that-
Yeah.
that-
And
that's
Haskell
all
Road.
government
there's the
here.
peak, and they pay for it. Again, not everybody in this community can afford a
Granted.
computer that can support that kind of a network, or a computer at all. Hence the library, here it
Absolutely.
is.
This
you
is
know.
still the
Exactly.
answer for all of our financial,
Yeah, and it has
stressful.
to be utilized to the best of its
Yeah,
capability.
Can always use more.
Next meeting.
Right, you know, so good. So if anybody has any suggestions that you or know anybody who might be interested in any particular scope of publication, please let Sherry know.
Okay.
Because we can tailor, you know, to what anybody
Sure.
wants.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and reporting all this.
Thank
This
you.
was great.
You're welcome.
Okay, next we have, we have a whole packet here, revenue control report, expense control report, and we also have adjustment transfers. So I'm looking for a resolution. Has everybody had a chance to glance at them?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking for a resolution to accept the budget transfers.
So we do them all once?
Yeah.
Yes, all together.
Yes.
I so move.
Okay, a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Randy, Chris, no?
Not even,
Okay.
the only one that was left is FEMA on mine,
Right,
and we're leaving that till
open,
open for a while.
yeah.
Nice.
Hoping we can get some money from them
Sure.
first,
Yeah,
so.
might as well wait till the sixth.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so our next meeting will be Monday, August 17th,
Here.
here at the library, yeah. And once again, I think it's probably gonna end up being Zoom again. I mean, if things change and we can have an open meeting, we certainly will. We're kind of looking forward to that. This is getting a little old and stale. But anyway, so next is committee reports, and Don is not here, but Randy already reported that the fellows did that, so I'll let Don know tomorrow.
Can I ask a question about the community gardens?
Sure.
Are they being taken over by the town? Has the town taken over responsibility for the community garden?
Well, I thought I understood that the town always did.
They
Yeah.
always did?
Yeah.
Okay, so is the town responsible for maintaining the area around there? Like, it really doesn't look too good, and
Well, that-
No, I don't,
No, that was taken care of by the village.
Okay,
It
yeah,
was town property.
yeah,
town
because
put
Farrell
it
used to do a
up,
lot of
and
work
Farrell
over
used
there,
to
yeah.
maintain.
Right, right.
The village maintained it, took care of it,
Yeah.
watered it, did whatever they needed to do
Right.
down there because they were always right next door.
Right,
So it was always left to the village to weed mow it, but, you know, up to that, the village took care of the, you know, maintenance of it.
Right, and part of that was
And that was
Farrell.
90% was fair.
Farrell was working for the village, but also Farrell was doing some of the work inside the fences.
Yeah, he did a lot on his
for-
own too. I
Well,
think,
for Nancy Welch.
Yeah.
That's, Nancy retired, Farrell retired, these things sort of fell by the wayside, which for the time being, Don, from Town Board has taken it as a committee sort of assignment in hopes of at least making sure that anyone who wants one can get one, et cetera. But like last week, we had a complaint about burrowing into it and
Oh, yeah, that's on the other side. Yeah, ours is on this side,
Okay.
so we don't have any problems.
well, I mean, there's ways to deal with it, but
Right.
Right.
if it is a groundhog or even moles, I mean,
It's not gonna
it's
help.
hard to keep them out of there. Groundhogs will do some damage on the food though, I mean, moles don't do much.
Well, and it's kind of sad that, I mean, that it isn't utilized as much this year as it
Yeah.
had been in previous years. So a lot of those plots are severely overgrown with weeds.
Right,
Last year, there were a couple of young people that were hired, young fellows were hired to till it at the beginning, and we had more participation last year. This year, I mean, at the end of last year, I actually went down and took my weed whacker and weed whacked at least the front of it so that it looked like it was cared for. This year, it just, when something looks unkept, it discourages future people from wanting a plot there because they say, well, gee, nobody really takes care of it anyway. And so I would just like to see it, if it's going to continue, which I think would be a great idea, that maybe it needs a little bit more publicity, it needs a little bit more time and effort put into it initially with the ground being turned over and some new soil being put in there. And then it doesn't have to be weed whacked frequently, and it doesn't have to be weed whacked all the way around it. But just the perception, as you look at it from the front, to weed whack that area, it just looks better.
Right.
And perception sometimes
My time
means
with
a lot
the
to
cooperative
someone.
extension, of course, this was their baby and.
Exactly, yes.
I was involved in the early stages of it, but we also had great volunteers who were the whips,
Right.
Mr. and Mrs. Chris Barker. So,
Right, right.
she was widowed and then COVID, and she made it plain that she would not
She
be down
can't,
there
no,
and
she
she
can't.
wouldn't.
No.
And again, we have to cultivate, you're right, make it a cause that we can sort of get behind, because we need some new whip, some new gardener.
And an explanation to the community as to what it is,
Exactly.
because I don't think that many people
Yeah.
know about it.
No, it's free space, I mean, that's
It's
really,
free
it's
space.
just free space,
It is free watering,
right,
you know, it
free
doesn't go
space,
through your
and-
meter.
that's right.
You know, it's village water that you're getting.
Right.
We don't
for
have a
free.
meter.
And most of the food that wasn't taken out for your home or whomever's was ending up at the senior
At the-
center or at
at
the
the food
pantry
At the food pantry.
at Loaves and Fishes, so.
So
Karen?
I think maybe next year.
Now that the
Yes.
village is adding a part-time laborer for the rest of the summer, maybe that maintenance problem can be resolved?
I will run
I know
that.
you've been short-handed.
Yes, right, they work 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We have two people, one person that works 3 days a week.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll mention that.
Yeah, and I'll team up with Don, we'll come to the village so in the winter so that, you know, come next
Yeah.
spring, we can have more, a little more oomph on this.
Yeah, and is it gonna be the village, is it gonna be the town, is it gonna
Doesn't
be a
matter.
joint venture
We'll-
between the
right.
village
I
and
was
the
just gonna
town?
say,
No,
basically-
basically, who's gonna do it?
Really what we're looking
Basically,
for,
it's gonna do.
irrespective of the municipalities,
No.
well, it's
Right,
town
that-
property
no,
that the
that's-
village,
It's just another
it's town
volunteer
property
thing
that's in the
that
village,
volunteers
the village
do.
Right,
is
exactly.
generous with their time.
Municipality.
Really what we need is a whip,
Exactly.
a volunteer
Yes.
from
Lay it right
town,
on the
the
village,
whole
have
town,
at it.
anybody who can come up and,
We don't need
who's
it.
not 100.
Exactly.
You need to start somebody who's
Exactly.
50, you know, and,
Yes,
but we can work better at it.
good.
Okay, so next, we have 2 abstracts, one from July 27th and one from July 31st. So we'll do them together. Looking for a motion.
I'll move.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we'll start with roundtable. Neil?
Well, I think we've covered most of the things of concern for me, that tomorrow we're meeting you and I at the town hall. It's a good idea to do these things from time to time, to take a look at our health insurance and make sure that, you know, we've got the right coverage. While I've been out of it for a number of years, I know Tish pretty well from Byrne Financial. She and that group has done well for the county for a lot of years, so I know you know her now through county. Oh,
I haven't met her.
Oh, you
She
haven't?
wants to come to
Okay.
meet, and I think at this point, she just wants to let us know what
Right.
could be available, but when it comes to the talking stages, it's gonna have to be the committee.
Burnham
and working
Financial
with that.
has been consulting on and helping to underwrite the health insurance for the county for a number of years. And they're expert at it, and they saved the county some money over years, and, you know.
She said they do Long Lake, Hoffmeister, Arietta, Benson, Indian Lake,
So they've added.
and the county.
Right.
So I said, okay, so she's gonna come talk to us, but once we get into the insurance talking stages, then it's gonna be up to the committee to meet with her, down the road when she has information
her
for
name?
us.
Her name is Tish Biesmeyer.
Oh, Tish, that's right.
You
I was
might
calling
see-
her Trish on the phone, I felt so bad when I
She's
found out
been
it
doing
was
it
Tish.
for many years.
Yeah,
Yes.
her
That's what she
her
said.
partner, a man, that always came to county with her. There wasn't any question that we had, and I was pretty up on it then, that one of them couldn't answer. So they're, again, it's a municipal health insurance for groups is a specialty. Not that Brian and his group haven't done as well, I think they have.
Right,
But
absolutely,
the only way you can keep pencils sharp is to make sure of the marketplace.
right,
So I'll see you tomorrow.
okay, so that's going on tomorrow. That's all you had?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Randy? No? Chris, do you have anything?
Nope.
No? Deb?
Just wanted to say that we finally got up and running selling decals, fishing licenses after 4 hours on the phone with somebody from Texas, but he was fabulous. And we'll be starting to sell hunting licenses as of August 10th.
Super.
Yeah.
Nance?
I like the job that John Foley did on the side of the library, the plantings, he did a wonderful job. And I was wondering if the board would be interested in having him come and give an estimate. We haven't seen the garden club ladies in a few years, I'd say, right? At least 2-3 years. And over on the side by Debbie's office, the rocks have been knocked down and there's a lot of weeds growing, just to get an estimate, and in front of the building and around the flagpole is all kind of overgrown.
Sure.
Just to get an estimate as to how much it would cost to have him come and tidy things up, and
I'm sure John would do that. I think it's a great idea.
it just looks scraggly.
Along with the sidewalks, no?
Oh,
What's the
yeah,
idea?
to fence the garden club, they put the gardens in, but they don't maintain them.
No,
So we might be able to get somebody who's willing to go up and putz around in this, around the town hall and smooth things
Well,
up.
they always did.
They always maintained.
Always maintained it, up
Up-
until
up.
last year, they haven't done anything.
last year or this
Yeah,
year.
last year they were-
They literally used to
Just
come
really
and
mostly the
water
front.
at the town hall, so we got spoiled.
Well, I think they got way too many on
Hey, of course they
the
do.
gardens going.
Yeah,
But, and more people
request.
dying,
Right.
basically.
So
Used to be members of the club, they're no longer with us.
every civic group in town gets
Yeah.
better.
Yep.
Well, it was just a thought perhaps to get
I'm for it.
an estimate, just to see what, if
I mean,
Just
we can handle our own watering, but
tidy
John,
up just
John's
a bit.
very good at these sort of quick fixes.
I don't think the garden club is doing as much
No,
as
no question.
because that's why they didn't do the barrels. And I can
Right.
say this because
That's
I
cold,
announced
too,
it at
right?
the village board meeting as well, that next year the chamber is considering, I'll use that with the capital C, considering taking over the barrels and
I read that,
planting them along the thoroughfares as they have in the past. There were,
Yeah, I used to do it with Sherry Smith
yes,
Sure.
years
and,
ago.
yeah, and then Cheryl Pestella did it for a
Cheryl, a
while.
number of years.
But Donna and I have spoken, and I think that they're seriously considering taking over the borough.
I reread that in the paper this morning, the Hampshire News.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 weeks between whatever you're meeting and
That's right, yeah.
just reading that this morning at the diner, and I thought, that's probably a good thing, if we can get some more volunteers.
I think he was gonna work it out.
Good.
Okay,
COVID has
So you gotta
upset the
contact
apple
him.
cart a lot of
Do
ways.
you want me to?
Yeah, and.
Well, you brought it up.
As Chris had said,
Okay.
the people.
I'll just put down that Nancy will follow up.
And it gets,
Can't do it, man.
no.
we'll do it together, the buddy system.
Agreed.
That's the problem, we've
Okay.
got the oldest median population age, one of the oldest 23 counties in
With
the
a poll.
country, and I suspect we are the oldest.
Nancy will
but I
follow up with the
haven't
poll,
been able
John.
to quite track that all down yet, but that's a lot of the problem,
Sure.
and the young people just don't seem to wanna volunteer.
Well, I mean,
Not
let's
many.
face it, most of these things are semi-retired, retired folk that don't have regular jobs, and, whether it's ambulance corps or fire departments or certain Lions clubs or garden clubs, this is just the way of the world. I don't think we're alone in this, but you just gotta keep figuring new ways to do stuff, whether it be community gardens or Main Street. We can do better.
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. We done,
Don
Yeah.
is in
Motion
here.
to get a price from John Foley, or?
Nancy's gonna follow up with the
Nancy's
phone.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
think-
follow up. Do we need a motion for that, or is
Not
that?
really. Not
We're
that-
just gonna get an estimate.
no.
Just, I'll call and get an estimate.
So adjourn at 8:07, who's moving it? Neil?
Second?
I'll second.
I'll do a Brownius motion.
Yeah, I was gonna say Don is in here. Okay, thank you everyone for coming.
As always. What do we have to move here?